start by swinging the legs up the wall, and I recommend having a blanket for your comfort level, either to stay warm or to tuck underneath of the hips. So you're just gonna work as close as you can to the wall and then try to swing your legs up. And then just shimmy your hips as close as you can to the wall. So this is the #1 posture recommended for back pain. And the biggest reason is because it aligns the entire spine while lengthening through the hamstrings. So typically low back pain is caused by tight hamstrings. So you're going to keep your legs about hip distance apart, just straightening out as best as you can. It's okay if the knees are a little bent, and then flex the feet to a 90 degrees so the toes are reaching back towards you. And you can also use this blanket to tuck underneath of your hips here to help relieve the low back even more. And then we're just going to start by bringing our hands to the belly and just softly closing the eyes. And bringing your awareness to the breath. Noticing the rise and fall of the belly with each inhale and exhale. Notice the feeling of the hands resting on the body. Noticing the spots of connection between the body and the mat, grounding down through to the earth. And take this time to lengthen the breath. Deepen the inhales. Deepen the exhales. Then scan down through the body, softening the forehead, the eyes, the jaw, the shoulders. Soften the chest, the upper back, the belly, the lower back, the hips. Soften the arms, the elbows, the hands and wrists. Soften the thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, the feet. Allowing every muscle to sink just a little bit deeper. Think about the way the breath feels traveling in and out of the nose. Just going to count the breath to keep the awareness with the breath. So we're going to inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 1, 2. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 1, 2. 2. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just allowing your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. And just bringing awareness to where your mind naturally goes. If it stays thinking about the breath, the body, this present moment, or if you find maybe the mind a little bit restless, running through anxieties, fears, emotions, to-do lists. Either way, without judgment, whenever you notice the mind wander, just try to catch yourself and come back to the breath. If it helps to keep counting that rhythm of breath, you can do that. Just sitting softly here on the mat, connected to this present moment. And then we'll add a bit of movement into the body. So we're just going to bring the shoulders out to about a 90 degree. On the inhales, we're going to slide the arms around upwards, keeping them connected to the floor. Up as straight as you can, and then pull back to a 90 degree on the exhale. Inhale up. Exhale down. So you're going to keep the backs of the hands flat on the floor. Keep the elbows pressed into the floor. With each inhale up, only straightening out the arms as straight as you can while keeping the elbows flat. Once the elbows lift, just pause there, and that's your limit and range of motion for today. And exhaling back down, just moving back and forth with your rhythm of breath. Keep letting the shoulders relax down into the floor. Pause at a 90 degree. And then from here, we're just going to rotate through the shoulders. So on the exhale, keeping the elbows on the floor, just lifting the palms and then reaching them towards the hips. Pausing where you need to. They may not come all the way down. And then inhale back till the backs of the hands are on the floor. Exhale forward, reaching the palms towards the floor. Inhale back. So just moving back and forth, making sure to keep the elbows at a 90 degree. And again, they may or may not come all the way down to the floor, either on the inhale or the exhale. So we're keeping the elbows out straight from the shoulders. And then the hands at a 90 degree in line with the elbows. Inhaling up. Exhale, palms towards the floor. Keeping the elbows on the floor the entire time. So if the elbows tend to lift, pausing there, that's the end in the range of motion. And coming back through to center. From here, we're just going to bring the feet flat on the floor. So slide them down. And then we're just going to work through the pelvis. So on the inhale, we're going to reach the pelvis, arching through the low back, trying to make a little space underneath of the low back. Exhale, round the spine, pressing the low back firmly into the floor. So really micro movements you might not notice much at all. Just adding a bit of movement into that lower back by tilting the pelvis forward and back with the breath. Good, and then from there we're going to move deeper into the glutes. So to start, we're going to inhale the right leg straight up to the ceiling. Gently grab behind the calf or the thigh and pull it towards you. And then we're going to slide the left foot up the wall to wherever you need so that you can cross the right ankle on top of the knee. So once the ankle's over the knee, you can find where your range of motion is. You might have to lengthen this leg all the way out, that's fine, or you might be able to work that foot a little bit further down. So you're going to feel it in the right glute here, and then keep thinking about pressing the hips and the low back onto the floor. You can keep your arms out to the side here, relaxing the entire spine along the mat. With every exhale, allow the body to sink down towards the floor. And then on the inhale, we'll release that right leg again, just drawing a little bit further towards the upper body. And we'll relax that foot flat on the floor and coming to the opposite side. So we'll inhale the right leg up to the ceiling, flexing through the foot and either grabbing at the calf or the thigh here and gently guiding the leg forward towards the upper body. On the exhale, we'll cross the left ankle over the right knee. And then again, play around with the right leg. So it might be straight out, and you might be able to drop the foot a little bit further down. So the goal here again is to press that low back and hips into the floor. So you're going to feel it in the left glute this time. And then again, relax the shoulders down, relax the arms down. Every exhale, releasing, softening through the glute, the hips, the low back. You might notice a difference between the left and right sides. That's very common. Just use the breath to try to deepen through, releasing through the glutes. And then we'll inhale, releasing that left leg straight up to the ceiling. Then again, using the hands, guide that leg towards the upper body. Take a few deep breaths. Then we'll relax that foot against the wall again. This time we're going to bring the feet and the knees together, taking a deep inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to let the legs drop over to the right. So here again, you can use your blanket underneath of the knees if they don't come all the way down comfortably. And allowing the shoulders to relax down into the floor. Let me do a gentle twist all along the spine here. Every exhale, allowing the body to sink down into the mat. to center. And exhale, just come to the opposite side here. So again, feel free to tuck that blanket underneath of the knees or between the knees, just allowing the shoulders to relax. Doing the best you can to keep the shoulders on the mat. It's okay if the right one lifts up a little bit. Inhale the right arm up and just slowly roll all the way onto your left side. We're going to gently push ourselves back up. Now, there's no graceful way to get out of that, so just coming onto your hands and knees on your mat, however you can. And we're going to stack the shoulders above the wrists, stack the hips above the knees, coming to what we call the cat-cow. So on the inhales, we're going to drop the stomach, bring the gaze as high up as you can towards the ceiling. On the exhales, round through the spine. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone. Inhaling up. Exhale, round. Just moving back and forth with your own rhythm of breath. Inhale up, and we'll exhale back to neutral. From here, we're going to step the right leg forward, planting down through the sole of the foot. You might want to walk your left leg back away from you to go a little bit deeper. You might want to walk it a little bit further back to go a little less deep, just finding your comfort level here. And then you can keep the hands on either side of the front foot. You can bring them up onto the right thigh or all the way up into the air. So just making sure to keep that front knee stacked above the ankle. And then we're going to press into the top of the left foot. Try to take a bit of the weight off of the left knee. Again, this is where you can use the blanket. If it's hard on the back knee, just tuck the blanket underneath. And we're going to think about squaring the hips. So the left hip is going to press forward. The right hip is going to squeeze back. So everything's pointing straight forward. With every inhale, we're going to lengthen through the upper body. So lift up through the top of the head. With every exhale, sink the hips a little bit lower. Down. We're going to step that right leg back and step the left leg forward, just coming to the opposite side. Again, finding any variation here. So you can keep the upper body down, and I'll show you that variation this time. This time we're going to stack the left knee above the ankle, and we're going to press the top of the right foot into the mat to take some of that weight off the back knee. Again, you can use your blanket underneath that knee as well. And with the arms down variation, we're going to think about pressing the chest forward. So we're going to squeeze the shoulders back so the spine is staying relatively straight. You can also use some blocks or books on either side of this leg to add a bit of length to the upper body as well, so we're not rounding through the shoulders. We'll exhale, stepping that left foot back to meet the right. And then we're going to plant the hands, curl the toes under, taking a deep inhale. exhale, lift the hips up and back to down dog. So we're gonna keep the hands shoulder distance apart, feet hip distance apart. Spread the fingers nice and wide. We're gonna try to reach the hip bones up towards the ceiling and press the chest back towards the thighs. So trying to get a lot of space between the palms and the shoulders, so the shoulders aren't right above the wrists. Reach the chest back, press firmly through the ground, and then relax the lower part of the body as well. So try to sink the heels towards the floor. It doesn't matter if they touch, focusing on more of a straight spine here. Then we're gonna exhale, dropping the knees. And we're just gonna walk the hands forward. Allow the chest to sink down towards the floor, keeping the hips above the knees. And then on the exhale, we're gonna walk the upper body back towards the heels. Sink the hips towards the heels, coming to child's pose. So you can keep the knees together or open wide. And you can keep the arms reached out. You can tuck them under the forehead or wrap them around the sides of the body. And just coming back to the breath here. And just staying in this posture for as long as you need. Allowing the breath to even out. And just taking time to honor the body.